can stand proud of your choice for this year's valedictorian, Emily Cliff.
I'm a little shorter than him. Good evening and welcome, faculty, family members, friends, the few students recording this for those dreaded volunteer hours, distinguished guests, and of course, the graduating class of 2011. Boy, are there a lot of you out there tonight. When I got a call from Mr. Blows, I had the same feeling as we have all had when a teacher calls home. Panic. I absolutely panicked. All the possibilities of what could have went wrong, of what I've done wrong, went through my head. I thought that he was calling to tell me my grades were mixed up, and instead of being an honored guest here tonight, I had failed. But it was something much worse. Isn't it curious that the reward for a lot of painstakingly hard work throughout high school is this? Public speaking? That's the #1 fear in America, higher than spiders and even death itself. Don't get me wrong, this is an incredible honor, but spiders are looking pretty good right now. All jokes aside, writing, not to mention saying this speech, is the hardest thing I've had to do, even more difficult than my extended essay. I did almost as much research, and I sat through some pretty terrible raps other valedictorians did, but don't worry, I won't put you through that. I took this very seriously, so I prepared for it just as vigorously as most of us have prepared for important assignments over the past 4 years. So late last night, I began. No, really though, this is an incredible honor. Speak on behalf of all of us wonderful, talented people is unbelievable. There were times during this writing process when I thought this was all just a dream. Well, a nightmare is probably more accurate. Needless to say, I am so very proud of each and every one of us. The times when I was most proud of my accomplishments in high school were when I had stepped out of my comfort zone and took risks. Most often, this was when I did a presentation in front of the class or sang in coffee house in grade 12. But by no means do I mean during the time I was in front of people. No, I hated that. I would shake uncontrollably, and it was always very embarrassing. But afterwards, after I sat back down and could breathe again, I'd feel invigorated, like I could do anything. And tonight, we get to have that same feeling. Tonight is the long-awaited breath after a dive. It's the breath that reaches every part of our bodies. You can feel it in the tips of your toes and on the nape of your neck. This is the breath when finally we get to say, we just graduated high school. Now I know we aren't the first group of young people to graduate here, and we certainly won't be the last. But look around you. We're obviously the best. We have learned so much over the past 4 years, like procrastinating on an assignment and staying up late the night before. It's not a good idea, but it's usually inevitable. Aside from the multiple, seemingly unending lessons in class, we have also learned a lot about each other. Like you'll hear Ms. Barsanti before you'll see her. Surprisingly enough, Mr. Curtis isn't as scary as he looks most of the time. And sometimes, especially on Fridays, it's best to avoid the English office after class. During high school, we have grown tremendously, trying to fit into the predetermined ideals of our teachers, parents, peers, and ourselves. Sometimes, the world feels like it's built for a certain type of person, and for twos. So throughout our lives, in high school especially, we spend a lot of time trying to find that person and fit into those molds. Sometimes, in all the mess that is high school, we forget to find ourselves. But if we are lucky, we find ourselves in that someone and in our peers. I truly feel that's what we've done here at Kenner, found each other through each other. We've built a foundation here, one that we will base the rest of our lives and our character on. We have built a home, Home is such a simple yet profound notion. Home is a place of shelter and security. It's not just a shell, this building. It's a feeling and it's a connection. Home is each other. It's the pride we all feel tonight and the unreal sensation in our hearts when we receive our diplomas and look up at the people who have helped us get us where we are today. These people are our peers, our families, our teachers, and faculty here at Kenner, and I truly owe you all a huge thanks. I personally haven't came into a terribly dark time during high school, but I know people who I deeply care about who have. It was thanks to this school, the people, and the spirit that they pulled through. So I think taking a bit of Kenner wherever you go will help us get us through these tough times. Just look at us now. It was a long time coming, but here we stand. We stand here tonight after we've picked ourselves up and dusted each other off who knows how many times. We stand here tonight not as the children who first came through those doors, but as young adults ready to take our first steps into the real world. And let's face it, does anyone actually know what the real world is? I certainly don't. It's always changing, universally, and for every one of us. There are about 7 billion people in the world, and each one of us has our own reality, our own dream, and our own identity. That's what's important. It's ours. Our future is ours to do with how we please and what fulfills us as our own person. I think Steve Jobs had the right idea when he said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." But let's face it, living your own life is hard, and it's going to get harder. A nice analogy I've heard was that by Brian Dyson. He explained that life is like a game in which you are juggling about 5 balls in the air. These are work, family, health, friends, and spirit. And it's a lot of hard work keeping them in the air. We will come to know that work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will eventually bounce back up. But the others, family, health, friends, and spirit, they're glass. They might not completely shatter the first time you drop them, but they will be irrevocably scuffed, marked, or nicked. They will never be the same. I think by now we understand that. We have had friends come and go. Some things said can't be undone. We've had some scuffles with our parents, but luckily our family are the most forgiving. We've had some physical injuries and made some poor health choices that might stay with us forever, and our own spirit is the most fickle of all. But I think I've picked up on some tricks. Some of the things we are juggling help keep each other in the air. They're connected by elastics. For example, when you keep your friends in the air, they help to brighten your spirit. And when your spirit is held up, it makes you strong enough to lift your family. This juggling act is what makes high school hard and will make our next steps even more difficult. High school is the first time this weights were lifted off our parents' shoulders and placed in our hands. Some of us, including myself, were never taught how to juggle, so high school has been quite the improvisation. But we've had some practice, and now we're moving into the big leagues. So tonight is also the last breath before we take another plunge, a moment of respite before we set out on another adventure. Tonight, we not only celebrate where we have been and what we have achieved, but all the places we will go. All the new things we will see, the challenges we will face, and the prospect of what we can accomplish. We set out tonight chasing our dreams, but your dream tonight at 18 years old may not be the same dream when you are 28 or even 38. Our dreams are constantly evolving, and that's okay. It's what makes us human. Things are going to happen that change our way of thinking, or we may find a deeper, more passionate part of ourselves down the road that wants something different. So, like Dr. Seuss wrote, and when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, it'll start happening too. We have so many young, talented people among us tonight. Sorry, my voice is going. We have scientists, writers, athletes, artists, and much more. We are proud, we are capable, we are well-rounded. We are Kenner's graduating class of 2011.